Sunday evening Australian time, a long-awaited event takes place at the Vatican in Rome, the canonisation of Australia's first Catholic saint, Mary McKillop. There'll be plenty of celebrations in Melbourne, where she was born, including a prayer service at the exhibition buildings in Carlton, with thousands expected to attend. Cheryl Hall spoke to some of the Sisters of St Joseph.
101 years after Mary McKillop's death, her Josephite nuns look nothing like their famous founder.
I'm Sharon. Yes. Catholic chaplain. I work here in pastoral care.
There are still about 1,000 Josephite nuns, but very few are joining today. Sharon Therese is the most recent nun to make her vows in Victoria. Her one-year anniversary is this Sunday, the same day Mary McKillop will be recognised as saint by the Catholic Church.
Some people would like to see us back in habit and perhaps on that pedestal again, but I view it as, it's a lot more natural. It's a lot more easy to speak with people. They're more comfortable around you. I usually say who I am, and some will say, oh no, I don't want to go there, or they think you're there because they're dying or something.
At the Order's nursing home, Sister Barbara, at 93, is one of the oldest Josephite nuns. She remembers a different time when they were referred to as the Brown Joeys.
In those days, I think you more or less put nuns on a pedestal. You thought that they were all very, very holy people. They are, I suppose, holy people, some of them. Going down the street, you thought about it, nuns and all of that sort of thing.
Sister Barbara joined the Order 74 years ago after a priest told her she had a vocation.
And he gave me a little leaflet and he said, I want you to say that there's a prayer in it. I want you to say that prayer every night. I said that prayer every night to Mary McKillop, sometimes asking her to put this nonsense out of my head about being a sister. I couldn't get away from her eyes. No matter where I put that card in my room, I felt that she looked at me. And there are little things here about the order. Then there were other things. There were about her big crosses and trials she'd had in her life. I haven't got anything underlined about obedience.
Mary McKillop was born here in Brunswick Street, Fitzroy, in 1842, in the very early days of Melbourne.
I really think it is amazing still. Talking to the sisters is still quite unbelievable that this would happen to one of our own who was born here, walked these streets around here, saw the poverty and wanted to do something about it.
Mary's footsteps are well recorded, especially in Melbourne's churches, where she's often seen with a football hero like Richmond's Jack Dyer. Whether or not you believe in saints and miracles, there's no doubt Mary McKillop spent her life helping the poor and educating those who couldn't afford it. The Josephite nuns believe she represents the best of Australian qualities.
We can do many things in this, young country. And, we acknowledge sport and we acknowledge, academic achievement, we acknowledge community service, and I think it's good now we can acknowledge sainthood too.
Mary McKillop created a very Australian order of nuns. They travelled to the most remote parts of the country, lived in small groups in poverty, and refused to be ruled by the sometimes authoritarian bishops. From the moment she died, sainthood was being talked about. As well as 2 miracles, the Vatican requires a relic, traditionally a piece of bone, before someone is canonised. Luckily, the Sisters of St Joseph kept a lock of Mary McKillop's hair after her death, which will be presented to the Pope on Sunday.
I always felt she was a saint. And the more we knew of her, I always felt Mary McKillop was a saint.
What is a saint? Yes, I think a saint is, for me, is someone who's lived a very inspiring life.
Sisters Josephine Dubell and Sharon Therese are 2 of the 13 Victorian nuns now in Rome for Sunday's ceremony. Sister Sharon will spend her first anniversary as a nun actually taking part in the service in St Peter's Square.
Oh, Sunday the 17th would be a fantastic day. And I think just to be in Rome with all these thousands of Australians and celebrating the life of Mary McKillop will be a fantastic event, and I'm very grateful I'm alive today to be experiencing that. And it didn't happen years ago, otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Cheryl Hall with that story. And that's the end of Stateline for this week. Thanks for watching. For comments or suggestions, you can go to our website. The address is abc.net.au/stateline. We leave you with pictures on display at the old Treasury building, marking the anniversary of the collapse of the Westgate Bridge 40 years ago. See you next Friday.